Happy Flosstube Friday, friends. My name is Kari. This is Tiger Lily Designs. Welcome to Flosstube episode number 72. Yay. Happy Friday to you. Happy July 7th. More importantly, did you know today is World Chocolate Day? Happy World Chocolate Day. My Google just told me that. And I'm all for this one. All those little funny days, like I don't really participate in a lot of them, but World Chocolate Day sounds like one I might have to put in my calendar to remember because, hey, in my world, Chocolate Day really is every day. Every day, or at least a day without chocolate is not a good day. Just a little bit for everything. Anyway, happy to you. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I don't normally talk about chocolate. My channel is mainly about cross stitching, quilting, and knitting, and all the things making and doing. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. Today might be a little bit short, sweet. You know how long it is already because you clicked on the video, but there's not a lot on the table, even though it's been a week since I have been here. And last week I had lots to share. This week I have been stitching every day, but the finishes are small. Yes, there are finishes. And there are 3 of them. Now, if you remember last week's video, I showed you guys I talked about my July plans. It was June 30th. I had a whole day to come up with my July plans. I did circle around and come up with them. We'll see how far I stick with them, but so far, so good. We are 1 week into July, 7 days in, yep. And I am sticking to it. I am doing Christmas in July stitching, full force, gung-ho ahead. I did want to stick to my whips, but I've already squirreled away and started a new start and finished it. So without further ado, let's just jump right in. Let me tell you what we've got going on today, because I like to give you a little brief synopsis of what we're going to be talking about. Today, like I said, I've got 3 finishes. Nothing's fully finished. That's going to come later on in the month. I think I'm going to have like a finishing day. Hopefully I'll have lots to do, but I do have 3 finishes. One was a new start and finish in the week. I do want to talk about a new sal that is starting. I haven't put a stitch in yet, but my friend Sarah has. It's her birthday sal. So I do want to give you the deets on that in case you want to join the fun. It'll be around a while. It's a big girl, then some. I also have a little update on Lily's graduation quilt. Spent some time on that. I want to give it to you. And then at the end, I'm going to have a Tiger Lily shop update because next Saturday, July 15th, I feel like summer's flying by. It is July, friends. July 15th is the next monthly update. So I'm going to give you a little bit of deets on the end of Tiger Lily shop. So that's what I've got. Without further ado, let's jump in, shall we? Okay, so like I said, Christmas in July, yay. I have a lot of Christmas whips. I showed you, I think some of them, most of them, all of them, maybe. Last week, we also looked at all the things that I had as charts that are already in my stash, and it was kind of fun to go through and evaluate what we had. Now, I showed you guys these. I am a big love. We talked about it before. I'm not going to rehash what we talked about last week. If you want to watch the more details, there's more last week. But we talked about these gorgeous Prairie Schooler 12 Days of Santa's Christmas ornaments. Love them. Now remember, I did a full RFL conversion. I brightened them up. Again, we already talked about it. I will put a link to the blog post where I give you the RFL conversion in case you want to brighten them up. But I just use this as my base. So last week I had 2 done. 1 finished. I showed you guys fully finished. I finished that during Stitchmas last year. Yay. And I love that finish. And I had 1 other one finished as of last Friday. So why I started with day 4, I don't know. Day 4 was the one I had fully finished. I just like the blue parrots, I think. So then I was like, I don't want to do 1, 2, 3. Let's go to this book instead. So I had 5 done, remember, from last week. So this is welcome. I'm an Ada girl. And so I do have, this is on 16 count. I did find the thing. So this is 16 count white chocolate Ada fabric that I got. Looks like 1, 2, 3 stitch label to me. So that's what this is. I auditioned it. Why did I choose this fabric? It was because the 12 weight RFL floss that I'm using, I showed a picture of this on my Instagram, and someone had asked me, yes, this cute little sock monkey Christmas pouch, love it. It is perfect for spools. This was something I used to make in my artisan. I used to do like those craft fair artisan markets, you know, back in the heyday. And I sold this as like a pencil pouch crown situation for little kids, little Hot Wheel cars, adorable. I don't have any right now. She'd asked me if she wanted this particular one. I only had this one. This was from my stash. I will be hopefully, and these are real easy to make, super easy. You just quilt them anyway. So we'll see. Later on in the fall, maybe just fun little things. But this is my Aurifil spool collection. I'm using the 12 weight. So 12 weight Aurifil is what I feel like equivalent to 2 strands of DMC. So you get the benefit of stitching with 1 strand, but you get the coverage of 2. Win-win. So that's what I had done. So I had 5 done, right? Okay, so what have I done this week? Yes. Now, I had started some of these. Let's just be honest. These were not like fully not done. I had hold on. Excuse me. So they were fill-in ready. I don't remember at what stage. Maybe I'll pop a picture in if I have one. If I don't, then I won't. But this is 6. So I finished 6. The moral story is 6 is done. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it so much. So, you know, just the bright red and the Canadian goose. The 6 geese a laying. So sweet. So 6. Can you guess? What number do you think I got next? Yay! I finished this one too. 7. So sweet. Now, I did do a little bit of change on this, not on purpose, but it happened and I just rolled with it. If you see 7, the grass is actually 2 shades of green. There was an outline green and a lighter green on the middle. I have the lighter green. The spool is gorgeous. It's in there. But for some reason, I didn't look at the chart when I went back to stitching this. So I thought I had just outlined another fill-in block. So I started to fill it in. And then once I realized that was supposed to be lighter green, I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. Oh, good. On camera, you can see the 2 shades of blue. I'll be honest with you. In person, you really don't see that this was 2 shades of blue. But you are seeing that a little bit on camera. So that's exciting, I guess. So 7 is done. So far this month, 2 ornaments from my Santas. Yes, that's my back. Like, I'm not afraid. It's a hot mess. 7, but I also, what fell on the ground, 8 has been started. Oh, there it is. Nope. Well, I've started 8. Now, how far I'm going to get with 8? Here it is. Here's 8. So 8 is the little cow dude. See the cow? Yeah, so fun. Okay, so I've started 8. So that's not bad. First week, 2 ornaments done. So I'm going to put my goals out into the world. Not because I want to pressure myself, but because it's fun. I'm shooting for 10 ornaments this month. Okay, so 10 ornaments a month. If there's 4 weeks, which, you know, give or take, whatever. That's like 3.5 a week. Plus there needs to be a finishing day because I really, knowing me and what my fall and my craziness is going to look like, if I don't finish them right now-ish, they might not be finished ornaments to hang on the tree. And that's like what I want, right? So if I do 3.5, maybe I did 3 this week and I kind of cheated because 2 of them were fully started. Anywho, that's what I'm putting out there. 10 ornaments this month in July. Now I have squirreled already and these are not the only things I'm stitching on. So if I don't reach these goals, life will go on. But so far I've got 2 Santas. And while we're chatting Christmas ornaments, let's talk about, I showed you guys these last week. Remember, these are the Polar Plunge. I still need to go, note to self, I need to go and add these to my cart. There's 3 more charts, 2 that you can buy out in the world, in the LNS's world, and then 1 you can only get from Hands On Design because it's a charity chart. Chart 6 will be released as a PDF on my website with all the proceeds going to Special Olympics. Love that. So this is something that I love, this little series of, I love a good series. Love a good collection of ornaments. So what did I do? This was pulling from stash. I had the ornament, I had the pattern. I went through my Ada collection and I pulled out the perfect fabric. And then, yes, I did not write on it, but I went to my floss wall and I pulled colors based on the pictures. These are all charted in fancy flosses. Yep. 11 fancy flosses. I think they're all Classic Colorworks. Yep, they're all Classic Colorworks fancy flosses, which I have some, but I don't have anywhere close to a full collection. So instead, I just went to my wall and pulled colors based on what I thought would A, look good on my fabric, and B, be in the spirit of what's called for. So, and then I used one of my project information cards. This was one of my stitch card backside ones. And I just hole punched it, with my 1/2-inch hole punch. And I took 3 strands of almost all of these are Mo's silks. Now I've talked about Mo's silks before. She's a hand dyer down in Florida. Love her. She does Saturday sales. It's kind of one of a kind colors. You get them, you get them. You don't, you don't. So I didn't have. Almost gonna de-thread that. Okay. Anyway, so these are almost all. Actually, these are all Mo's silk colors from my little stash collection. But these are not hard colors, pink, a red, 2 shades of gray, 2 shades of aqua. The aqua was the tricky one because the aqua is the water. And you have to take into consideration whatever color blue fabric you're using. But without further ado, let's just look, shall we? So this is 16 count, picture this plus glacier that my sweet friend Shelly gave me as one of my StitchCon gifts. She was so sweet. So this, I thought it was perfect. It's this nice, that's not washing out. There you go. So yeah, a little bit better. You just can't see the stitching, but I thought the aqua, it popped enough on this blue fabric that it would work. It's so funny. Look how wonkadoo the edge on that is. Now my stitching is straight, right? But that is some crazy serging. I didn't serge this. This came serged, I'm guessing, from 123, but maybe not. I'm not quite sure where Shelly got it, but it's the perfect color for these ornaments. Yeah, that's it. And so, yeah, these are just my extra flosses because I don't have a thread bed for this one. So I just kind of weave those extra flosses rather than tying them on the card. I'm just going to move on to the next one. But I finished the whale. So cute. So 3 ornaments, friends. 1 week, 3 ornaments. Woohoo! Look at me. I know I wanted to stitch on big girls, and I do. We're going to talk about a big girl in a little bit, but so I did have 1 stitch that wasn't Christmas. I showed this to you before. Let me take it out of my sweet little hoop. Yes, it's a hoop. Remember, so we talked about this before, and so I will just keep showing you every progress every week just so you can see how much 1 thread a day can add up. Now, I'll be honest, I think I did 4 strands on Sunday because I treated myself and I was having a lazy Sunday morning. So I didn't do just 1 strand that morning. I did 4, but everything else, Monday through, and I didn't stitch today either. So Monday through, this is just 1 strand. Now, I wish I had a before picture. We'll see if I do. If I do, I'll add it here. If not, this is where I am. Now, remember, this is the beautiful pattern that I kitted up at Keepsakes when I went to StitchCon. And it is Nightshade Bird by Plum Street, finished as a drum. I am pretty positively sure that I am not finishing mine as a drum because I want to be able to see all the daggone tiny little stitches. So maybe it's going to be a flat fold finish, and I think it's going to be a flat finish of some sort. Pop it on my shelf because it's adorable. And so this is being stitched on 28 count Lugana. But don't hate me, friends. I'm still an Ada stitcher through and through. I'm just trying something new. I am loving it. It's just giving, it's a challenge and it's fun. I am doing, we talked about this before, but this is 28 count Lugana, but I'm stitching it 1/1. So it's working up to be like 56 or, it's super tiny. And that's okay. Because my brain, like Ada, the stitching 1/2, I just couldn't wrap my head around it. I am going to try again to stitch correctly on either a Lugana or a linen, just to see if I can do it. But my sweet spot is definitely my nighttime stitching. My tired eyes is always going to be Ada. I just can't do it. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, I love this one. It's I talked about this last week, but I just love how it's turning out. Maybe 1 more week of a strand a day. Probably not, because there's a lot of fill-in left, and I just am saving the fill-in for later. But I keep this in my sweet little keeper from StitchCon, and I stitch in a hoop. Otherwise I stitch in hand. All my other projects, my big girls, my little my ornament, my little girls, my ornaments, my smalls, every stitch in hand on Ada, all the counts, all the things, stitch in hand. But this 28 count Lugana 1/1, I am stitching in a beautiful hold tight hoop that my friend Liz gave me at StitchCon. So that is the other stitch that I am working on. So those are my whips for the week. Not too bad, not too shabby. That's my stitchy whips. I did work on my sweater some more. My sleeve is about here. I had a couple days of car stitching. Not far, we didn't go far, but you know, an hour in a car is an hour worth of knitting that I could do. So I did get it about, you know, a quarter of a sleeve done. I'm not going to show you two. I thought I'd save it for next week. Maybe I'll actually have one sleeve. We shall see. But I do want to talk about one other stitch, cross stitch related thing. As I mentioned before, my friend, sweet Sarah, handmade by Sarah W. I will link her channel down below. She is a new floss tuber. She has been active on Instagram for eons. That's where we met a couple years ago. Super friends. Super sweet floss tube. She just started here in the last month and it's adorable. We've been doing sales. We're going to talking about, and I'm putting this out there so that way we actually do it, Miss Sarah. You hear me? Like, we're going to do it. Scratch that. This month, I'm going to commit to the month. This month, Sarah and I are going to do a joint floss tube live, not live. That is TBD, but we are going to do a little Tiger Lily Sarah / Sal finish whip parade mid-year fun. We wanted to get it done before Sarah's birthday started here on July 1st was her birthday. Yay, happy birthday. But I was busy. It was crazy. Like, you know, life, but I got to plan a couple things. But in the meantime, I do want to tell you what style we're starting. Like I mentioned, this is a big girl on top of big girls. So there is plenty of time for you to get your hands on this chart. If you've been thinking about it, if you have it in your stash, if you just want to join the fun, you know you want to, because this is gorgeous and it's going to be around for a while. Now, Sarah's adorable. She just finished her birthday start from last year, which was Miss Lucy Calcutt. That is a beautiful big girl whip in my whip basket. I'm nowhere near a finish, but you need to check hers out. It is gorgeous. She did color changes. She made the red house the blue house because blue is her favorite color, which I think is adorable. Like, for the houses, she wants a blue house in her real life. So, like, secret, spoiler. It's adorable. I love it. Yay on her finishing her birthday start in the year of that. Awesome. I challenge you to do it this year. Miss Sarah, can you do it? Maybe if this is all you stitch on, but I know that's not how you're going to roll. Anyway, in the meantime, let me pull it out. Sorry. Actually, not sorry. We talked about, should we say sorry, at StitchCon. And you know what? The crinkles was fun. So Jane Hopkins. Beautiful, right? Hands across the sea samplers. I've had this in my stash. This was a contender for my birthday start in January, but I just couldn't, I didn't do it. I didn't pull the trigger on this one. So yay, we're pulling the trigger for Sarah's birthday. But look at those gorgeous, listen, if you know the Mary Morgans, I'm a sucker for a big giant rose. I mean, come on. And this one has 2 of them. And then of course, this crazy urn, like I think I just want to do the urn right now. So this one, because it's about 35 colors, I don't know, Sarah talked about it. I'm going to guess 30 plus. A healthy collection of colors charted in Auvert Soie, Soie d'Alger, and DMCs. Well, I have not bit the bullet on trying any of those silks on the thing. I just, for a solid color, I'm going to be a DMC girl. At least that's what I say right now. We shall see. But for right now, I'm totally content and happy and fully on board with pulling the DMCs. So yeah, you can see I've collected, I think, most of them, if not all of them. Like I said, this was a contender for January. So I definitely tried to, there's the chart, holy cannoli. I partially kitted or fully kitted at least the threads, the flosses, back in January. So I think they're all here. I need to organize. I need to put them all on bobbins. I need to make a few cute little floss keeper so it can go with it, because it's always fun in my world. I think it's so much fun to have your big girls in pretty charts. So it has to have a special keeper. I'm thinking I'm going to put it in my July keeper. Sarah doesn't know what the July keeper looks like, but without spoiling it, I think it's going to be fabulous in the July keeper. That's all I'm going to say about that. So, I'm gonna save that for the July keeper, the quarterly cup that's coming out. So I think I'm gonna wait. So it's fine that I haven't started. Plenty of time. I'm gonna put that in my July keeper. So I'm gonna make maybe a floss keeper or two to coordinate. Anywho, what I'm going to talk to you about, and this is what I haven't started because I kind of went down the squirrel of the Christmas ornament finish rabbit hole thing, and so like, I wanted to finish a big girl before I started another one. Let's just be honest. But I don't think that's going to happen. So we'll just start. What's another whip, right? We're good. So what I did a couple days ago was I did go to my fabric storage system, and which I have organized. I should show you. I should stop talking about showing it to you and show you one day. Today's not that day. Sometime soon. I do have my fabric organized by, like, because I'm an ADA girl. So there's a 14 count bin. There's a 16 count bin. There's an 18-20. Those I combine because I don't have that many of those. And then I have colors. So the other ones are all the neutrals, because that's probably what I stitch 90% of my stuff on is a neutral, a pretty brown, a pretty sampler neutral, right? So those are what all the different bins are. And then the colors is rainbow order. Roy G. Biv. Yes, friends, we talked about that before. Yep. So lots of pinks, lots of blues. That's where I could put the blue one. Greens, gorgeous. Now, the good news is I did go into my color bin just in case I wanted to get crazy and put it on a color. I toyed with the idea of putting it on pink, like pink. Sarah is doing a pinky neutral. I forget what fabric it is. It is sampler neutral E with a pinkish tone, kind of like that Swiss mocha. I'm stitching that Nightshade shade, the bird is on like a pinky neutral. Gorgeous. That probably would look gorgeous with this. I have to do a floss toss. Some of these pinks are a little bright, but that's a Lugana, and nope, not stitching a sampler on Lugana yet. I'm sticking with the smalls. I'm gonna baby step my toes in the baby pool. Goodness gracious, I'm talking too fast. My brain is not catching up. Slow your roll, right? So I am trying to, so I was auditioning fabrics. The pink I had was a little too baby pink. I felt like the rose was going to get lost. These colors weren't going to pop enough. Then I thought about maybe a green. The greens didn't pop. So anyway, I kind of am drinking the Kool-Aid of what's called for. Now I'm not using what's called for, but the color of the called for. Now, what is it stitched on? I don't know. It's got Lakeside Linen. Oop, here we go. Hold on. Words. Vintage Sand Dune by Lakeside Linen. Gorgeous. Beautiful. I view it as a honey sampler, like caramel honey, like not brown, not gray, not pink, not green toned. Do I dare say peachy orange? I mean, everything is better in my world in orange, but peachy orange undertones. Anyway, so I went and I auditioned. So I pulled two fabrics, and I thought it would be fun because I'll be honest with you, I am not going to start this week. Sure would be great if I put a stitch in, but I need to prepare the bobbins. I need to make the floss keeper. There's lots going to happen before. So we have time. Let's talk about fabrics, shall we? So I have two fabrics that I think are contenders, and I'm trying to decide which I like better. Now, I should pull some floss to show you, and I hope they show up different on camera. They are different enough here on my table for me to actually like keep them both as contenders, but one of them is another one from my beautiful friend Shelly. This is Picture This Plus quarter yard now, so this is the problem. These are both 16 count. Yes, 16 count is definitely my sweet spot when I'm doing big girls. I'm not in love with the idea of doing 2 strands, but it's because it's like this much stitching. It's like full coverage right here-ish, right? That's a huge full coverage area. Where is the stitch count? It is really hard to read when the stuff is in tiny little script font. 217 by 290, friends. And I'm going to say this beauty, 150 by 150, full coverage, basically. Whew, this one's going to be a wow. So I got no problem doing 2 strands, 16 count with 2 strands is my sweet spot. And because it's DMC, I got no problem, you know, because it's going to eat some green thread, some red thread. I'm going to have to buy multiple skeins of each color, I'm sure, at least the main colors. No problem. DMC, perfect. So in the meantime, that's what we were going to talk about, size-wise. Okay, so size. So 16 count. Both of these are 16 count. Now the design measures 13.6 by 18.1. So if you're new here, I like to frame myself. I frame all my big girls, small girls, baby girls, little girls, babies, all the things. I frame them all myself. It's just a frugal finance thing, or I'd rather spend that money on more stitchy stuff. And I'm happy with the results that I get. So I don't need quite the 3-inch margin that you would need if you were taking your stuff to a professional framer and they want all this margin. So I don't need that much margin. So my minimum that I like to do on the big girls is at least a 2-inch, right? So 13.5, 18.1. So if I want a 2-inch margin, so 4, so 17.5 by 22.5. Okay. Now, if we all just review, you know, quarter yards, fat quarters, things like that, I might be pushing it. So this one is 17 by 25. Now, let's remember, I wanted 17.5 by 22.5. So 25, no problem. The 17 to the 8, yeah. So I'm pushing it. That's okay. So this one is contender number 1. How pretty is that modeling? I'd have to I mean, I'm using the whole thing, basically. The only thing extra is there's like 3 inches extra at the bottom because it's 25 versus 22. So I'll probably just do down by the selvage is kind of, I'm not gonna say boring. But that way, because see the floral, I love to look at the modeling. I wish I had a board here to show you. But see how this kind of circle area right there in the middle that's kind of dead modeling? It's not dead modeling. It's just not as interesting in the modeling department. But do you see what's going to be right in the middle of the daggone thing? All the stitches. So it's kind of like perfectly centered in that. I was going to ask your opinion. We may just have a decision by the end of this, but I am going to show you the other one. So like I said, this is 15. This is Picture This Plus, a 16 count doubloon Ada is what this is. Now, of course, with the other fabric that is a contender is an LFA linens. Now, if you're new here, I am a big fan, super fan of LFA linens. It's not just linen, it's Ada too. So this is the LFA linens. This was part of their fabric club. Now they don't do the fabric club anymore. Sue is the hand dyer behind LFA. Rachel from Treehouse Fiber Arts, search her little Treehouse website is where I would get my fabric club and my fabric. They work together. They're a beautiful team. They have their own little Flosstube channel named Floss Toss. It's a little bit wonky right now because Sue's in the middle of moving, but either way, beautiful fabrics. Moral of the story is I love Sue's Ada. Now, because I was part of the fabric club in 2022, I got 4 exclusive colors. I am 95%, we're gonna go 99. 99% sure that all those 4 colors are now available. Now, whether they're like in stock, that's a different kind of availability. I can't speak to that right now, but I can speak to the fact that maybe they'll be available one day. But one of the colors, this was the, what does it say? April. This was the April color, and it's called Schooner. Now, I put this in my color basket because it's just a little warm for going in my neutral basket. So do you see? It's lighter, brighter. Okay. So this is the beautiful 16 count schooner. This is a fat half. Now the fat quarter, or the fabric club, I got a fat half of, so it's a much bigger piece. I can be a little bit pickier with where I want to go, but the modeling is beautiful. Okay, so those are my 2 contenders, right? So they are definitely 2 different shades. One is darker, one is lighter. We'll put so here's the called for, or the called for picture, right? And then I have lighter and darker. This one, I'm pressing the envelope by making it fit. I don't know. What do you think? darker, lighter, darker, lighter. I don't know. I do think what I'm going to do, no, let me just take the think out of that. What I'm going to do is do a floss toss with both these fabrics. And so I'm going to pull all the flosses out, throw them on the fabrics, get in a true color lighting situation. And I'm going to do a little Instagram post and / opinion poll situation. I can't guarantee I'm going to do what y'all vote, but it's going to be fun just to see the process. So that's what I like to do, especially on these big girls that I know I'm going to be investing oodles of time stitching this big girl. And so I want the fabric to be perfect. I think they both be good choices. Let's just be honest. I love LFA Lena. I love pictures. Yeah, they're just different, but both fabulous. I don't know. Anyway, so if you have been here for a while, you know that I have a daughter. Her name is Lily. She is going to be a sophomore in college. So she graduated high school over a year ago. I used to make t-shirt quilts in my previous business they're a twist on a t-shirt quilt, not a traditional one, but Lily didn't get one during her graduation window because I was moving. So, but I did finish one for her prior to her coming home from college. Yay. It was just a quilt top. So, but this week I went ahead. This is still just the quilt top. I still have to do the binding. So it's not fully ready for look, but the moral of the story, there we go. You can see. So the good news is this week, what I did is I was able to take a field trip. Me and Lily went out to my mama's house out in Leesburg, and that is where my long arm lives. I have a long arm quilting machine, but when I was moving, it did not make the move. I set it up at her house because I didn't know how long I was going to be homeless, and I still needed to work. And so it's still there. Since I don't use it that regularly, it's easier for her just to keep it there. So she uses it. She doesn't use it, but she stores it for me happily, because then when I am going to use it, that means we get to come out and have a visit and all the things. So it was a fun little day we had going out there. So I did get Lily's quilt all quilted. I just did a free motion, easy breezy quilt. Now what's different on this one, and I've never done it before, and it was one of those things where, are you sure that's what you want? Now, as a traditional quilter, I put quilting. There's the top, which is, made of cotton, quilt cotton, right? And there's the t-shirts, interface, like all the things. And then there's the batting in the middle. And there's usually a quilter's cotton, high quality quilter's cotton backing on the back. And then I do the safety pin and I pin it and I long arm it, right? I free motion long arm it. Well, my daughter Lily is one of those, she loves the tactile fuzzy blankets, like Costco has them on special during the winter season, but just a fuzzy blanket. So she doesn't always gravitate to my homemade quilts because they're not fuzzy. And she equals fuzzy to warm to cozy to things. So I have put some flannel on the back of some of the quilts, which I think is certainly warm enough. But when we were out fabric shopping for the back of her quilt, she went to this, it's not minky, it's like minky, but it doesn't have the dots, fuzzy fabric. And I was like, okay, so I've never done that. I don't know what my machine's going to do. I don't know, because it's much thicker, right? Because it's fuzzy. It's not fleece. I don't know what it is. I should have read the thing, but it's like minky. Ugh, so fun. So I was like, okay, we'll give it a whirl. I'll buy a backing amount needed, size needed, and we'll do the work of and it'll either work or it won't. I didn't know if I was going to break needles or if the machine was going to freak out because it was too thick. This is a lot of thickness. It was a dream. It was a dream. I mean, it didn't break. I broke a needle because I ran over a pen. That's a whole nother ball of wax, but it didn't break any needles because of the fabric. And the stitching on the back is beautiful. We picked a light gray so that the snow white stitches kind of they get lost in the fuzz. And she is so excited about her blanket now because it is cozy and warm and tactile and fun. So anyway, this is not going to be a good shot, but I did just want to show you that it's coming along. Hopefully in the next, certainly in the next month before I take her back down to school, I'll have to put the binding on that. That'll be easy breezy. And then it will be ready to go. you. So I did do that. And like I said, I did some knitting, but I'm not going to show that to you. So now let's have the Tiger Lily update. So last but not least is the Tiger Lily shop update. As you know, I sell, well, maybe you do. I sell keepers every month on the 15th of every month. Now I did not have a sale in June because, you know, the big C word came and got me after StitchCon. So I pushed those, I think there were 12, and I showed those to you in the video prior to StitchCon. So if you're looking for the June keepers that will also be in July, you need to go back a couple videos and watch that. That'll be at the end of, probably the one right before StitchCon is the video that I'll show you those keepers. So there's 12 or 13 there. And then I also have we'll see how many I have that I'm going to add for the July. So the July 15th sale, which will be Saturday the 15th, so a week from now, 1 p.m. Eastern on my website. That is how you get a keeper. So I get this question a lot. And so if you've been around for a while, you already know this. So sorry if I'm repeating myself, but I still get this question and I just feel like I should answer it every once in a while. I sell keepers 3 different ways. One way is the monthly collection on the 15th of every month at 1 p.m. Eastern on my website, tigerlilyshop.com is where I load the keepers. So there's anywhere from 10 to 20 and during the monthly collection. These are all one of a kind, totally unique, not in mass production. Lots of times they include vintage stitching, but they're only available then. Sometimes I show them on Instagram about the week, usually a couple days, sometimes a week prior to. Sometimes I show them here on Flosstube to show you what's coming so you can set an alarm if you see something that you like. The other way that I sell keepers, so that is on my website. It is not on Etsy. My Etsy is only for PDF patterns. I only keep Etsy because Etsy's fees are bonkers. I only keep Etsy for PDF patterns just for the ease of another place for people to download the PDF patterns that I sell, which I do sell a pattern to make your own keeper if you wanted to, if you are so inclined to sew one yourself. I also have a quarterly keeper club, so 4 times a year. I have a box that I ship out that has an exclusive keeper pattern that is only available with the club, as well as 3 to 5 stitching notions that I source and I curate specifically for the box, solely from small businesses. I'm super excited. It's my favorite part of this box, and the small business things that I've got, like July, awesome. October, awesome. Plus, the third way is my Advent box. Now, the Advent box, so the quarterly keeper club, unfortunately, I'm sitting here telling y'all about it. Unfortunately, it is on a waitlist only situation, but you can join the waitlist. You know, people come in and come out all the time. It's one of those things. Sometimes they're like, oh, I got a couple of them. I want to give someone else a turn. Super nice. And then there's other people, you know, so like I said, people come in and out. Put your name on the wait list. Maybe you'll move up one day. I can't promise. But the other one, the third way, is the Advent box. So this year I am doing a Tiger Lily exclusive custom Advent box. There is going to be 12 days of fantastic stitchy goodness, fun, individually wrapped, individually labeled, fantastic. I love it so much. Box. I do have Advent boxes still for sale. That is not sold out yet. I don't know how or when that will sell out. There's a limited quantity. When they're gone, they're gone. But I will link that down below. But in the Advent, I don't know what's going to be day 1 or day 12, but one of the days will be an exclusive Tiger Lily project keeper as well. It's the double pocket variety, beautiful Christmas fabric. I love it. So this is an Advent. So there are Christmas themed items. Not all of them are Christmas themes, and it's certainly not over the top cutesy Santa Christmas themes. I call it classy Christmas. I don't know. It's really pretty is the moral of the story, I think. But it's not juvenile. It's not Santas. It's not reindeers. It's really, really pretty Christmas. I was trying to appeal to as many people as possible and still love it and still keep it true to who I am. Anyway, so that's that. But I do want to show you, so like I said, I showed you the June monthly collection back in June. So those are going to be in the July sale, as well as the July sale will have between 0 and 20 of these. It all just depends on what I am doing for the next week. Like I said, this is not till next Saturday, so I got a whole week. on top of doing the July keeper box, but whatever. I've got a whole week to put these together, but I do know that these will be in there. Now, if you saw any of my table mates from StitchCons shared my sweet little one of a kind. This is a mini keeper. Yes, another question. I will be doing a pattern add-on measurement. It's on the list. When it happens, I don't know. But I am going to do, because this is a mini, I don't even have a full keeper. Oh, I almost grabbed the July Keeper Club keeper to show you. That would have been bad because it's right there on the table. I don't even have a keeper here because I have it in a bag. But so this is a mini keeper. Well, hold on. Let me just show you one of the other ones from July. So here is one of the other Julys. It is mid-production, so I have to fold it manually. Hold please. So this is a full keeper. It is 13 1/4 high, 10, 20, right? 10. That's the measurements of this. So it holds a full sheet of paper. So you can think 8.5 by 11, full sheet of paper. Here is, wowsies. You know, for example, the pattern, the chart, the slides in right behind the double pockets. Wow, this is a bad little thing. Hopefully you're familiar with my keepers. But this is what I wanted to do is show you some of the covers that will probably, most likely, hopefully, unless life gets crazy, be included in July as well. I teased these on Instagram a couple days ago, a couple weeks ago. Days, totally days, not weeks. This was a beautiful vintage linen that Shelly found for me. And so she went antiquing during StitchCon. And that's fantastic. And so she found this gorgeous table linen of vintage stitchings that I have now made into keepers. This was a huge table linen. So there's going to be 6 that are this fussy cut floral linen. Yep. And then there's going to be 5 or 6 of these that are also, so that's the half, that are going to have these full gorgeous pieces. Look at that vintage stitching. So I matched this up with this gorgeous Granny Chic fabric line from Lori Holt. I just thought it was perfect. So in the meantime, I also, hold on, got to get my stacks put back together. So we were talking mini keepers. That's why I pulled that out. Goodness to Betsy. Mini keepers, right? So this is the full keeper. This is the standard project keeper. Well, for StitchCon, I did make mini keepers to pass out to my table mates. And they loved that. It was kind of like let's just see how this flies. So you can see, hopefully you can see. So this is the size difference. So there will also be 6 little mini keepers. This was from a set of napkins that went with the table linens. Now, you know, vintage stitching, the reason I love to save them is, you know, sometimes when they're stained and like, you know, sweet potato stain that is not coming out, or napkins get used to wipe stains. So there's stains on these napkins. And sometimes someone looks at that, but I just cut out the vintage stitching and it's gorgeous. So this is a mini keeper and this is the full keeper. So in the July collection or August, we shall see which one gets done or how much gets done. But it's coming soon. It's a moral story. It's in production. There will be 6 of these mini keepers as well. How cute is that with the graphic from the table linen? But also, and these I know will be in July because I have them in hand ready to go. Yes. So I made these keepers, these mini keepers. These are Tula pink patchwork. Everything is Tula. If you don't know, this is my Tula shelf. I am a Tula pink super fan. So I love Tula. I keep every single scrap. So I made scrappy Tula pink mini project keepers and gave them out to my table mates at StitchCon. And I thought it would be super fun. When I was making them, I was like, okay, well, you know, I'll just make a few extra. So I made 4 extra. So that if you want to. Now, one of them I'm saving for my 10K subscriber extravaganza giveaway. So I don't know when that's going to be. Could be in August, could be September, could be December. I don't know. Have you subscribed to my channel? If not, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, all the things, share with your friends. I can't wait, but I'm saving this one, putting this as my first item in my 10K extravaganza giveaway. So that one's going in there. But in the meantime, I will have 3 for sale in the July collection. And they're also coming with exclusive. These are the thread drops I made. So if you see, oh, it's like little ladies. It's like a quilting bee circle. I love this vintage photo I found. And I just threw it in a cabochon as for a thread keep for my stitchy friends. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're stitchy friends just sitting in a circle stitching. It's totally what I imagined StitchCon was going to be. So I have these, and these are all the double pockets. So you see that these have a little bit of a different closure, but they're all double pocket. The pockets are all different on the inside because this was a stash buster. But I will have 3 of these for sale on the 15th during the shop update as well. They're perfect. So those half cards, these smally things. So you could pop like 3 different ornament kits. So you just slide that right in the back, put the stitching here, have 2, 3, 4 ornaments. My friend Jody, she had a full-size keeper, but she had 4 projects in it. She had 1, 2, 3, 4. Good on her. I was like, you go girl. So I have 3 of these for sale. The 4th one is saving for the 10K. Giveaway, and that's what I've got. Yay. That is the stitching for the week, the quilting update for the week. I hope you had a great 4th of July with your family, friends. However, if you celebrated, yay, we certainly did. Little busy here, and that's about it. Yay. I'm not going to just keep rambling just to ramble. We'll see. So until next time, friends, holy manoli, switching things up. Oh, I got a little tongue-tied. So until next time, friends, I hope you have a great weekend, a great summer. Get out, enjoy the sun, the gardening, the stitching, the lakes, the waters, whatever you do, the beach. Hey, enjoy your summer, enjoy your family, enjoy your friends. And until next time, friends, happy quilting, happy knitting, happy making, and of course, happy stitches.